Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk Star Collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at building a big Waagh force that also includes the Regiment of Renown for Destruction in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is of course big Grix cruel shots, a bunch of bolt gun wielding cruel boys. Now, in this video, we're going to go through a variety of different units for the Big Waagh army, and then we'll take a look at Big Grix cruel shots at the end of that, before finally showing you an army list of 1,000 points to hopefully give you some inspiration for starting your own force of Big Waagh in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, making use of Big Grix cruel shots. And so, to get us started, first of all, we have the Wargog Prophet, and there's a few reasons we're including this in the army. First of all, it is probably the best wizard we have access to that comes from the Bone Splitters. Bone Splitter wizards are one of the many ways we can generate some additional Big Waagh points for our army, which are really important to how the army sort of functions. Now, the Wargog Prophet himself is 7 wounds, 5 up save, and he's also going to have his nice talismanic tattoos for a 6 up ward base as well. 2 cast, 2 unbind wizard is really strong with a really good spell, Fist of Gork. You roll a dice for each model in the target unit, and on a 6 it's a mortal wound, or on a 10 plus, if your casting roll was a 10 plus, it'll be a mortal wound on 4 pluses instead. Now, he's also got his Wargog Mask, which is a super fun mechanic. You effectively roll a dice at an enemy unit within 12 inch that your model is staring at. On a 3 plus, that model will take D3 mortal wounds, and you can choose to do this again and continue to do this again. However, after the first time, you will take mortal wounds and D6 mortal wounds yourself on the roll of a 1 or 2, but on 3 plus, you take D3 mortal wound. Your opponent will take the D3 mortal wounds instead. Now, you can continue doing this until either you die, you choose to stop, or your opponent's model is destroyed, the one you're targeting. You can't swap targets during doing this, but it's such a super fun minigame for the Wargog Prophet to have. Next up, we have another hero, and that is the Auric War Chanter. Now, this is another model that can generate some additional Waagh points for our force, so always another good one to look at, including, for me, it is a Bone Splitters Wizard and a War Chanter. They'll be the 2 heroes I add into my Big Waagh army first. He'll get me the most amount of points. Now, the War Chanter is sort of a pseudo-priest. He actually has his own ability, which is going to be his different beats that he can make you do. You get to pick one of 3 of them, which are all on his war scroll for him to have during the game. This could be anything from a healing one, a fix and beat, get and beat allows you to make 3d6 charges, or to kill a beat for +1 to hit. On top of this, he also has an additional rule where he can put out an ability of +1 damage onto a unit's melee weapons, which is super fun. Now, other than that, he is, like I said, just going to generate you some extra Waagh points, which is super useful for how the army works once again. And then looking at some battle line units, and the first one of these I want to take a look at are the Auric Bruce. I think they're a really solid unit that definitely, after the disappearance of Galatian veterans and that, have really got a lot to look forward to in the current season. 3 wounds each, a 4 up save, and a variety of Ren 2 and damage 2 weapon options for them. They can really put out some damage, especially when you consider that War Chanter potentially can buff them up to a lot of damage 3 weaponry in their arsenal as well, and indeed their damage 1 weapons becoming damage 2. Now, they've got some cool rules. First of all, enemy models with wounds characteristic of 1 within 3 inch of this unit can't contest objectives at all. So they're really good at stopping all the little guys contesting objectives. And then they also get +1 to hit for attacks targeting a unit with a wounds characteristic of 4 or more. So they duff up the big things good as well. Unit with rules that benefit against smaller and larger models is really useful. Means they're always going to have something they can be doing, and against anything that's equal sort of wounds around them, 2 or 3, they can just go punch them in the face. And then another box set to talk about is another good combat unit, or rather a good box set that's going to provide us with a ton of different combat models. Now, we have the Savage Auric box set. Now, this can be built as your base Savage Oryx, which are a battle line unit option. They have either Savage stickers or chompers, and they can also have the shields on them as well. So this is just going to be your base sort of unit here. Now, they also are going to have Primal Surge to add 1 to wound rolls when they make a charge, which is really nice. They can also be built as Savage Auric Arrow Boys, which are a unit that just has bows. That's pretty much the difference here. 2 shots, 5s and 4s, no rend, damage 1, but they do have the ability to get a bonus point of rend if they're ever targeting monsters. The Savage Auric Boys are the two hand weapon wielding Savage Oryx we can get in the box set as well. This unit will have an extra attack on your base sort of weapons, Trumpet and 2 Shiv, 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, no Ren, damage 1, but they will get to add 1 to their attacks if they make a charge in the same turn, pumping them up to 4 attacks each, which is pretty sweet. And lastly, the best thing about this box set is you're going to get some Savage Big Stabbers. Now, you only get one of these per box set, so that is a little bit of an issue, but you can easily probably convert up a couple more with some of the totems you can see on the left-hand side there. The Gork Tooth, though, is a 3-inch range, 3 attack, 3s, Ren 2, damage 2 weapon, and each time a model in this unit is slain by an attack made with a melee weapon, they effectively can throw their spear at someone and do some mortal wound damage as well. A really fun unit to take on the table. And then lastly, of course, we have the Big Grix Cruel Shots box set. This contains a Big Skewer Killbow, which is Big Grix himself, and 6-man Skewer Bolt Boys. Now, these models all have some really cool rules. They're first of all going to bring over the mortal wound dealing rules from the Cruel Boys Allegiance, which of course they still would get in Big Waagh, but they're going to bring it across. The best rule they get, though, that they wouldn't normally get inside this army is they're going to, if the Man-Skewer Bolt Boy, the Man-Skewer Killbow, manages to ever shoot and do some wounds to a monster, the Bolt Boys will get +1 attack into that same monster. So you're going to get the ability to really hone in and take down a monster with this little battalion here. You've got some cool shooting in them. Both units have an aimed and a hasty profile. They generally get more shots with a shorter range and a worse hit roll if they move, or they get a better shot accuracy if they stay still, though these will not generate generally as many attacks. And so here we have our sample army list for the Auric War Clans. Now, we've gone with playing in the Big Waagh, obviously. We've gone the grand strategy, take what's theirs. We've got an army that's going to be striking out across the table. I think this is the best grand strategy for Orcs to pretty much be taking. We've got no Triumph because we are a perfect 1,000 points. Now, the Wargo Prophet is going to be our general. I'm going to command trait Voice of the Green God, or the Great Green God, it should say. Now, what that does is all his commands are 24-inch range instead of the normal 18 for your general. This is really cool when you combine it with an aspect of the champion and the leadership of the alpha. That once per game ability to use a command 3 times for 1 command point. And then you've got Gorkamorka's Warcry as his Lure of Savage Beast spell, which can make a unit have the Always Strikes Last rule. Now, Auric War Chanter is going to be in there as well. We've got the Arcane Tome on this model, and the reason for this, not only does the War Chanter bring us more Waagh points, but taking this allows us to take the Great Big Hand of Green of Gork. This is a teleport spell and super useful. Plus, with the War Beat, Get 'em Beat, this can be a really nice combo. Battle line wise, 2 units of 5 Auric Brutes, and then unit wise, we've got the 2 big stabbers in there for a unit of them, and then we've also got 2 units of 3 Man-Skewer Bolt Boys and the Big Skewer Killbow, obviously making up Big Grix Cruel Shots. Everything besides the Regiment of Renown is in a battle regiment, meaning we're a 2-drop force, 68 wounds on the table, a really fun army to play with in your Big Waagh. Got a variety of different units. In fact, you've got at least units from all 3 different types of Oryx, which is exactly what you want if you're playing a Big Waagh force. If you've got some ideas for Big Waagh, including Big Grix Cruel Shots, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also, drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and the fantastic little community we have here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server that's linked down in the video's description for you all to come join and hang out and hobby with us all. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by Patreon, YouTube members, or by grabbing some merch from Teespring or our Ko-fi store, all of which are linked down in the video's description. Also, there's some fantastic ways in a bunch of our videos, depending on what game system you're looking to get in. We have a bunch of affiliate codes linked down in the video's description of associated games and companies as well. And if you'd like to help support us via them, that would be greatly appreciated. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out for your continued support. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer on Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Suarez, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya Lochloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Davis Weir, James Tillman, Gargamel196, and Disco. A massive thank you to all of you for your continued support. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, to everyone who comes on and does all the battle reports and all of the podcasts with us as well, and indeed to everyone who helps make our Discord server a fantastic place to be for all hobbyists. Thank you once again for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.